D major. It sounds simple, the chord chart kind of looks like Mickey Mouse, and for a lot of beginners it's the first chord where muted strings come to troll them and make them want to rage quit.
Son of a...
That high E string just won't ring out. You've tried everything, and every time you think you've got it, you move to the next chord and you have to start over. 3 weeks ago, a new student of mine named Shaun had this exact problem. By the end of one lesson, just one lesson, he told me, I haven't been able to string together that many D major chords that sounded good in a row. A couple days later, he sent me a message. He said his D chord success rate went from 5% to 85%. The song we used? Free Fallin'. Hey everyone, I'm AJ Hansen with Level Up Your Guitar. Tab sheet music is in the description, private lesson link is down there too. Let's get into it. Here's what makes the lead guitar part of Free Fallin' such a great teaching song. The Capo 3 part you're hearing, that's Mike Campbell, Tom Petty's guitarist. The two of them are actually playing two different things on this song. And I know that because I caught the SNL performance as a rerun when I was a kid, and then rewatched it again recently when I was transcribing this lesson. That's how I learned there were two versions. You can see exactly what each of them is doing. We're going to learn Mike Campbell's part first, and then at the end I'll show you what Tom Petty is playing as a bonus. So, capo at the 3rd fret to match the recording. If you don't have one, open position is fine. The whole song lives in the D chord family. You got D major, D sus4. We're going to check out D sus2, but really we're playing A sus4. That's the entire vocabulary, and the bridge has some 2-finger power chords as well. I call the D major chord a crunchy chord, and it earns that name. The fingers are packed close together, and you don't have a lot of real estate to work with, and that high E string gets blocked a lot. What Free Fallin' does is give you a controlled environment to isolate exactly where the problem is, because the suspended shapes only move the high E string. You can see the issue clearly. But first, let's talk about why the D chord gives beginners so much grief, because I promise you, the fix is smaller than you think. I want to borrow something from the classical guitar world for a second. And bear with me, I know. We're playing Tom Petty, but I promise I won't turn you into a snobby classical guitar player. But this is the thing that fixes 95% of D chord problems, and it comes straight from classical technique. So steal this stuff. Allow me to do a quick speed run from top to bottom. Now let's talk about sitting position first. When I started playing, I sat with the guitar flat across my lap. Rock and roll style, it looked cooler, and my technique suffered for years because of it. Eventually I made the switch to a classical position, guitar on the left leg, tilted up about 45 degrees, and everything got easier. Now here's the thing I tell students who fight me on this. Stand up with your guitar with the strap attached and look at the angle. Same thing, 45 degrees. That is the angle the guitar wants to be played at. It's not arbitrary, the instrument was originally designed this way. And even when you go back to sitting rock style, that good technique from the classical method comes with you. The installation sticks. So this won't be a full deep dive, but I'll hit the most important points. So start at your shoulder, keep it relaxed. If you hold a lot of tension in your shoulder at the top of your back like I do, just do a couple shoulder shrugs and drop them down. 3 is enough. So when the stress comes back, you'll notice it and you'll remind yourself to relax. From there, you want your elbow just comfortably at your side, let gravity do its thing. You're not a bird taking off for flight. You're not a wrestler putting someone in a headlock. And when you do sit back in the rock and roll way, never ever put your elbow on your lap like that. It looks very cool, but it limits your mobility. From there, your thumb position, keep your thumb pointing straight up and just give your audience, right now we're each other's audience, give everyone the thumbs up, send out the good vibes, and put it right in the middle of the neck and the back, maybe in the upper third, that's fine. What we don't want to see is the hitchhiker's thumb or wrapping around. You don't want to hold it like a baseball bat. So with that thumb in that good position, that gives you clearance right here. So you can see from this angle, I've got this U shape from the tip of my thumb to the tip of my index finger. You want that clearance right here. So from there, you want a nice curl to your finger, And then finally, when you make contact with the string with your fingers, use your fingertips, because you want the bone of your finger to make contact with the string. That's where all the good tone lives. So if your finger looks kind of flat like that and you're making contact with the mushy part, that's bad. This is good. So make your fingers look like McDonald's arches. So now let's make the D major shape. You'll have your index finger on the G string 2nd fret from the capo, or if you're not using one, just the 2nd fret. Index finger on the... Duh.
He's laughing, he's having a good time. Good for you. Yeah, laugh it up. Enjoy your night.
Middle finger on the high E string 2nd fret, and then ring finger on the B string 3rd fret. Now let's talk about the microscopic fix. Most beginners have their fingers coming in at too low of an angle. The pad of the ring finger down here lays down just enough to lightly touch the high E string, just barely, but it's enough to kill the note. So from this view, beginners will have their fingers at a low angle, but we need to get that up. So there's a simple cue to fix this. So what often goes unseen and kind of behind the curtain when we're playing, I'll see players also kind of bunch their wrist up like this, and we need to keep that low, but it's really all about these large knuckles right here. What you want to do is we'll typically have them back further, and all it takes is just thinking of these large knuckles here and push them out 2 or 3 millimeters. So just push them forward just a little bit, and from this angle it's going from here to here. Just push those out. Don't think about the wrist, just think about those large knuckles. Go out a couple millimeters, and when those knuckles move forward, your fingertips come down more vertically onto the string. Your finger pad clears the high E string, and then the notes ring. So focus your attention on the large knuckle position every time you land on the D chord. That's the habit we're installing. And also when you sit classically like this, you might notice some muscles in your lower back that you may not have used for a while. So what I would recommend is just set a minimum practice time that you do this for. So if it's 2 minutes and you're like, oh my gosh, my back.
I broke my back.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
Go back like this and play, and just try and add 30 seconds to a minute every single day as you get used to it. And that's it. That's a whole fix. That's the system that I go through with students who struggle with their open position chords, D major especially, but all the other ones too when they get muted notes. It's all about pushing those knuckles a little bit forward. All right, I'm going to sit like this again so that you can see my whole guitar and the sheet music at the same time. Before we get into the song, let's run the diagnostic section. We're going to run a D major, D sus4, back and forth, and then D sus2. It's going to be the first 2 measures in the sheet music right here. So we've got D major, we already know that chord. So after D major, we're going to go to D sus4, so keep all of your D major chord fingers locked in, we're not going to move any of them, and just add the pinky to the high E string 3rd fret. And then strum through that chord. And let's go up and back between D major and D sus4. And then D sus4 back to D. That's most of the song right there. So it's pinky off, pinky on, pinky on, pinky off. Now take your pinky and your middle finger off, so now the high E string is open. That's your D sus2. And that's it, just those 3 chords mimicking the song. Every time you land back on each chord, check the high E string. Does it ring? If not, nudge your large knuckles forward until it's clean. That's the whole diagnostic. Once you can go through those 3 chords up and back cleanly a few times in a row, you're ready for the song. And here's the thing, the exact chord order in this song is a little different than the diagnostic section we just played. The D sus2 at the end will become an A sus4, which have the exact same notes just in a different order, which gives us a different flavor, but it's how it's played on the record. If you want me to walk through chord problems like this one-on-one, I do private online lessons at levelupyourguitar.com. Links in the description. All right, time to learn the whole song. Let me play through the verse once so you can hear how it sits. So we've basically already gone through 80% of this from the diagnostic section, so we'll burn through this pretty quick. So we've got the D major to D sus4, and then D sus4 again in measure 2, back to D major. Now we come up to A sus4. So the ring finger doesn't have to move, but you'll peel off your middle finger, and then you'll reposition the index finger to hold down both the D and the G strings in the 2nd fret. And you'll strum from the 5th string down. Well, that's the verse. I told you it'd be pretty quick. So just keep an eye on your large knuckles, and there'll be a bit of a shift, especially when you get to that A sus4 chord. Let me show you that again. Since you're barring, this top knuckle will be flat, and then you'll mount and peak up with that index finger, and then wrap back around. But the knuckles here are still pretty far forward. They're not back like this. All right, here comes the chorus. I'll demonstrate this. I hope you want something simple because it's basically the exact same thing, just some extra strumming. So again, all we've done is take the exact same chord order and we switch at the same time, but now instead of holding chords, we're keeping a steady 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and strumming pattern, all down strums. So we get 3 down strums on D major, and then we add the pinky for D sus4. So that's the first 2 beats of the first measure of the chorus. And then we add 4 more eighth notes after that. So that's the entire first measure. Then measure 2, we stay on our D sus4 with the pinky, but just for 1 strum, because by the end of beat 1, we're going to remove the pinky back to D major. And we'll strum that D chord twice. And then we'll switch to our A sus4. So let me demonstrate the first 2 beats of measure 2. And then slowly. And then we've got beats 3 and 4 and, or 4 more eighth notes of this A sus4. So starting from the beginning of measure 2. And then a couple times slowly. Now let's stitch measures 1 and 2 together. do that back to back. So I'll play the entire line of the chorus. Alright, now we're on to the bridge. This is where the song shifts gears completely. We go from open chord strumming into palm muted power chords, and it sounds like this. Alright, so we've just got 2-finger power chords. This shouldn't be too bad. So the tricky part is, since we are capoed here, we have to count 10 frets from the capo. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it'll really be in the 13th fret, even though it's reading as the 10th fret with our index finger. So this D5 chord here is index finger on the 13th fret on the E string, and then ring finger on the A string 15th fret. And you'll play 3 of those. And if you can manage to palm mute it, you get bonus points for that. So if you haven't done palm muting, I'll show you real quick. All I'm doing is going from here with the heel of my hand, and I'm just covering a little bit of the string. So from open playing, scooch up my hand a little bit. You still want a little bit of that chord coming out. You don't want it totally muted. So we got 3 of those. And now we take that same chord shape and we essentially slide it all the way down to the 6th fret, or frets 1, 2, 3 from the capo, and then the same shape. And the rhythm for this part of the measure goes and 3 and 4 and. So 5 down picks. So I'll put that together. One slowly. So that's measure 1. Then you go back to the D5 in fret 13. Play that 3 times, and now you'll slide it down where your index finger's in fret 8 for this A5, or 5 frets from the capo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the exact same rhythm. And 3 and 4 and, or 5 down strums. So I'll stitch together measures 1 and 2. And then one slowly. Now, if you get a little bit of sliding noise, that's okay. We're not purposefully sliding, but if some of that comes out, it's totally fine. You can hear it on the record. And then once you've got that down, then you do it twice, and that becomes the entire bridge. I'll demonstrate that. And that's it. That's Mike Campbell's full arrangement. And for those of you who are sticking around and want extra credit, remember that SNL performance I mentioned earlier? This is the other half of it. But Tom Petty is actually playing while Mike Campbell is running the capo at pattern 3. Tom Petty capo's at the 1st fret, not the 3rd. Completely different chord shapes, and it might even be a little bit simpler. Same straight 8th note down strums the whole way through. Although, I'll show you a trickier rhythm later on. So let me demonstrate the Tom Petty version, and then we'll deep dive it. So in the beginning, we've got our E major chord, so that's middle finger on the A string 2nd fret from the capo, ring finger right underneath that on the D string 2nd fret, and then index finger on the G string 1st fret, and strum everything. And just like the chorus before, we've got 3 strums of E major. into an A sus2, which kind of looks like an A major chord with one less string being fretted, or you could think of it like an E minor chord and you just move everything down one group of strings. So that'll be middle finger on the D string 2nd fret and ring finger on the G string 2nd fret. And it's got that same and 3 and 4 and, or 5 down strums. Then in measure 2, again we start with A sus2, quickly move back to E major for 2 down strums. Then we've got this funky B sus4 chord, and it's really just a power chord shape. So you take your index finger on the A string 2nd fret, ring finger on the D string 4th fret, and then pinky underneath that on the G string 4th fret. So you've got your classic power chord shape, but then you let the B and E strings ring open. So this is another example of where your knuckle placement will save you from getting muted notes. And again, it's and 3 and 4 and 5 down strums. So I'll demonstrate the first 2 measures. And I'll play it a time or two slowly. So that's primarily how Tom Petty plays the song from beginning to end. He really doesn't change anything. So you'll notice on measures 3 and 4, I've got a crazy looking rhythm here. This is something that you can add if you want to add some spice to your rhythm, and you can even apply this to the 3rd fret Capo version, the Mike Campbell version, in the chorus. So let me demonstrate it and then I'll break down the rhythm. So again, we've got a down strum followed by an up strum. So in this part, we'll cover the entire E major section. So we've got a down, up, up. But we've got a dotted 8th rhythm, so that first down strum is a little bit longer. And then we'll go right into that A sus chord. We'll just add that much. So once you've got that half, the second half should fall into place pretty simply. So you're tied over into beat 3, and then we've got E and a 4 E and a, or an up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So let me demonstrate all of that. Then in measure 2, we've got 2 down strums starting from A sus2 into E major. And you'll let that E major ring, it's tied into beat 2. And that gives you just enough time to think about getting back to our B sus4 chord. And that's tied into beat 3. So let me demonstrate just this much. And then we borrow the same back half of the rhythm as before. So we've got the up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Or E and a 4 E and a. E and a 4 E and a. So I'll do all of that last measure. And then one slowly. Now I'll demonstrate both measures with that rhythm a couple times. And then a couple times slowly. So again, if you want to add a little more spice to this rhythmically, that's a great thing to do, and I would just save it for the chorus of the song. And there you have it, Free Fallin' by Tom Petty. If this helped you level up, hit the like button and subscribe. I drop fresh lessons every week. Sheet music is in the description, private lesson link is down there too, and if you want more open position chord songs, check out the playlist here. Keep playing, and I'll see you in the next lesson.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.